Hi guys. Here in LA, Southern California, it's like a big Catholic family. It's all Catholics. They're all mic'd up. So to get into it, you have to like qualify into it. So what they do is they vet you. They're all mic'd up. So when they come up to you, their command hears it. They tell them what to say, and then they find your character out and stuff. So what happens was when I came out here, they asked all the women in the coal who's interested in this guy, because they have to decide what to do with me. Do I get into the coal or do you die? Those are your options. So the women I've mentioned on my Facebook, there are plenty of women who are interested. I don't know all of them. There was a lot of them, including famous women. So I posted some on Facebook. But they're going to turn it on me and say this guy's some crazy stalker. That's how they're going to hide it. So just think about it. If you come to California, you'll see the wealth. Just look at a mountain. To get that wealth, you have to qualify into it. You can't just get into it. And when you don't qualify, they turn on the person. Now, you know why? Like with me, it's because I found out the homeless are dead. Plus, I had been poisoned. They all knew this. So to have these women like me, knowing I had been poisoned by my own mother, that's only a Hollywood person could like you know what I mean, like me. You think, right? It's like a normal person, they'd be like, what the fuck? So only they could have kind of weed through that. Anyway, but that's what happened. You come out here, they're mic'd up, they vetted me, and let's just say it didn't work out. And they thought I figured out about my family as well. So my family got paid off to only speak when told to. So, and their command is working on the cover-up. And that's what's going on. So they're going to say he's some crazy stalker for the people I posted. You know how many times I've been told to shut up, or this will happen to you? And that's basically what they're doing. So otherwise I would have just kept my mouth shut. But my life is ruined. So yeah, some of the people I've recently found out about, I had no idea. Like apparently if you look at the post I just made, you had relatives of famous people who were interested, the women I posted, and you also have some famous women themselves who they were vetting me about, like the one I just posted about, like on TV shows. They were vetting me back in 2015, 2016, what I thought of these people, what I thought of the female, what I thought of their former husbands. And these weren't people I was looking up. So they can't say, oh, he was looking them up and we were checking to see if he was a danger. I was not looking these people up. Anyway, like they're asking me about people from, you know, shows I hadn't seen in a long time. So, and the women. And it turns out they were interested. And I looked to see if they were single, and sure enough. You know, in which some of the women's, and not only that, some of the women on the TV shows that they mentioned are in the families who helped get cyanide to my mother apparently as well. So virtually all the people in Connecticut I've named have family out here, especially the politicians. If you didn't know that, to be president today, your family's out here. They have to be. You cannot become president if you do not have family in LA. I can assure you, Obama has family here, Biden does. Bushes, you name it, they all have family out. Kennedy's out here. So you pretty much have to have not just LA, Santa Monica. It's like you have to have relatives in Santa Monica. You cannot be president. No way. Santa Monica is like you have to qualify through the Santa Monica vetting procedure first to be president. But anyway, Santa Monica is like the launching point for the what's going on in the world. It's pretty much the brains. If you didn't know that, Santa Monica is it. The Rand Corporation, all those scientists there, those are the top people in the world. They're the expert in their field, and they're the most important fields in technology. And they've invented this computer running it all. So anyway, but yeah, there are women who are interested of a guy who was poisoned, who was on the street. So they had to decide what do we do with this guy. The problem is some of these women who like me were older than me, which means kids would have been out of the question for me. Some of them had kids. So for me, I would have had to decide between an older woman who's more successful, more famous, as opposed to a younger girl who's in these families, but then I would have been allowed to have kids. But the problem is, how long was I going to, there were so many variables. So, and that's the problem. They had to go through all this stuff and said, look, are we going to pay this guy? And then if he finds out he was poisoned. Catholics poisoned me. Yeah, it was my mother who got it, but the church and their members basically gave it to her. And so they had to, what if this guy finds out? We pay him a multi-million-dollar payout, and he finds out, right? So that was the problem. And yeah, so if I married one of these women and found out, it's a big problem. So yeah, like I said, I don't know all of them. I just know there was a lot, and the ones who are around me I know pretty much. But the ones I didn't meet, that they saw me by watching me, they all get to watch me on their phones or their TVs at home. They can sit at home watching me on the big screen TV. It's unbelievable. Catholics are all mic'd up, but they got hidden cameras on. And all the Catholics, that's all they watch. They don't watch TV shows, they make TV shows. They watch the what's going on out here, and it's me, I'm the star of the show because I'm not Catholic. So they all get to watch me on their TVs at home. Even right now if they want. It's that high tech here. I'm making a video right now. It has not been posted, and they can see it live if they want to. It's like I'm broadcasting my own TV show without even, I'm not getting paid for it. So, it's the contrary. So yeah, if I post somebody public, you can be sure I've thought it through and investigated. I can't swear to it because they didn't walk up to me and say, I like you. But from my investigation, I can tell which ones did and which ones didn't, and so forth, for the most part. And I'm confident before I post somebody on Facebook. Like the ones I just posted, I'm confident of. So when I say somebody liked me, they did. All those families I mentioned had people in the families who liked me, men and women. Things were going good out here at first. It was funny because when I came out here, I was pretty much just an observer. I wasn't even like, I was pretty much on the sidelines watching what was going on. I mean, I was injured too. So, and they liked that guy. It's like, really? It's kind of boring, wasn't he? Just watching what was going on. But yeah. So it's funny because some of the women who like me were women I was attracted to years ago when I was. That's why I mean they're gonna say, "Oh, this guy likes him." That's what we're vetting him for. We want to see if he's crazy, and that's their cover. But like when I back in Connecticut, like in the '90s, I'd watch TV shows, and some of the women who like me were on these shows, and they're still on these shows. And it turns out that's kind of funny, isn't it? Like you're attracted to them when you're younger, and then you come out here and they like you. I always knew that was the case though. Before I got injured in Connecticut or poisoned, I knew if I came out here, there was a good chance famous women would like me, some of them. So that was always something I knew. And that was part of the problem with my neighbor. So if you look at my neighbor, what happened? I was interested. She was interested too. I don't know if she's admitting it. The problem was I knew if I came to California, I could do better. That's not the best way to say it. But she was an average girl, average situation, and I would have had to live a similar life to what I grew up with in Connecticut. But I was also thinking, well, what if she was the one and I could leave and come to California and below that? So that was pretty much what was going on there. But I always thought California would have been a better opportunity. But then I had family things about leaving my family. I actually liked my family. And yet I got poisoned by them. It's funny. I never put my hands on my mother, yet she got me poisoned. And then she got paid off. She's a millionaire now. So's her children, except her youngest, who's out here on the street. But their explanation is like, well, look, he's living in a place where it costs $1 million a year to live, and he's living on the beach in California, which they want to kick me off of, by the way. So for 5 years, he's been living on the beach in California, where you got to pay pretty much $1 million a year to live. So they kind of justify that. Look, he got paid off $5 million. Yeah, that's justification for losing your life. Yeah, okay, buddy, or whoever's saying it. It's no comparison. So. Living on the beach on the street is not the same as living in a house paying $1 million a year to live there. So, what? So all these idiots can hear me talk, and I don't mean undercovers. Everybody here can hear me talk, and some of them are, yeah. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, that's the point of the video, to let you know. They vetted me when I came out here, and it didn't work out, and they're gonna turn the story on me. So. I could assure you I did get hit with that weapon. The weapon was invented out here in Southern California. Basically radiation. You fire radio waves at a person and you could kill them if you didn't know that. Depends on how much you amplify it. Whether it's like your phone, you know how they say you can get cancer from your phone? The radio waves from your phone go through your body. The problem is they're not strong enough to damage your body, at least in a short period of time. The weapon used on me is designed to damage somebody to death within a short period of time. Basically, you're not supposed to wake up the next day. I survived. They don't know how. Well, maybe I'm sure they know how. I don't know how. They even joked, "What's your tent made out of?" You know, kind of made a joke about it. The second time I survived because I left during, because I can feel it, because they did it before. You can actually feel. They're gonna say, "Oh, you can't feel it. He doesn't know what he's talking about." Yes, you can. Now, I had been poisoned prior, so my brain was damaged, and then I could feel that. It's possible a healthy person with a normal brain, maybe they wouldn't feel it. I do not know. But me with the damaged brain, I was able to feel it as it was happening. And I knew something was going on. And I was aware of the weapon before they used it. I studied military hardware forever. Anybody, you could look it up right now. It's technology that's been around for a long time. They call it directed energy. It's a directed energy weapon. I don't even know what it looks like, the exact one they used on me. But they can put it in many things. It could be in a vehicle, it could be in a small handheld device. Like a special forces guy across the street posing as homeless could have pointed the device at me. It could have been how they did it. Or it was in a car across the street. I mean, I believe actually what I think happened is Joe next to me had it. The guy in the tent next to me, Joe, the one who says you're a piece of shit in the video I got, the big guy, he's likely the guy who used it right next to me in the tent. Because what happens is the first time they used it, he was next to me. And then when they did the second time, they're like, Jamie, come to your old spot. And then I got hit with it next to Joe. So, and that's the best spot for it, being right next to me. You don't want to fire it across the street, because then anybody walking across, you have to close the street off. So it was him with the weapon next to me, and the weapon, I'm guessing, is only made to go a short distance, so it wouldn't endanger anybody else. So the tent right next to you. So what they do is they got homeless people out here, get them in the tent right next to Joe, and Joe kills them. After he gets the orders from the president, which in my case it was Obama. So if you didn't know that, they were executing homeless guys by using this weapon. It's a perfect weapon. Now, in many cases, they didn't have to go to those extents, but it's a perfect weapon, because then a doctor can say they don't know what happened to the guy, or he had a heart attack, or he had tumors, because that's what the weapon ultimately does. It fries your brain where you get tumors. So you'll wake up with tumors. You didn't have tumors the night before, and you'll wake up dead with tumors. That's what it does. It immediately stops your cells from reproducing. You know what I mean? It interferes with your physiological neurons, and that's how it works. That's the whole point of it. It basically fries your neurons. So I even talked to Bob, the guy who knew how to build it. What it is, it's the high water content in your brain. So that's why it affects your brain and not your skin. So it can go through your skin, kill you inside, and then the outside looks normal. And I even talked to Bob about it. He says that's exactly right, because I had done research. And he didn't deny it. He says, I know how to build it. And he wasn't lying. Bob's one of the people who invented this computer out here. He's a RAND guy. He used to work at Douglas Aircraft. His own words. Douglas Aircraft invented radar. One of the inventors of radar, especially out here in California, out in Santa Monica, which is where I am. And when I found out the homeless were dead, that's the weapon they used, because I had been posting on Facebook. So what happens is you had this guy posting on Facebook. They didn't want me getting beat to death because I've been posting public figures. They didn't want to come back to them. They didn't want it going back to my family. That was the key. They wanted my family kept quiet. So they thought I figured out my family as well. It wasn't just the homeless. They thought I figured the whole thing out. The street was basically set up for me to hide the fact that they killed the homeless, and then to vet me to see if I got in this cult. If I didn't, I was to die. So they planned and staged stuff for having me die and having a cover. They know what they're doing. So they're going to have video that could support what they're going to tell you from back then, because they were preparing both sides. Either he gets in or he doesn't. So they'll have I mean, I don't know how much they'll have, but they're going to make it look like they have a lot. So anyway, they've done it before. I wasn't the only one. You have to qualify into this cult, and everybody who doesn't, they kill. And they've been prepared on having a good story if they kill the person before it comes to that. They learn through experience. So they have plenty of stuff where they're going to stage, or where they staged stuff to make the story sell. You know what I mean? So just look at it this way. I'm still a guy with no criminal record, but yet they're trying to change that now. Why would I make videos posting about this stuff and then it's going to happen? Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's like with the virus. If you look a year ago, I told you exactly what they're going to do with the virus, and that's exactly what they're doing. I should go find the post. Go look at, what was it, March? Around March, April, I made a post, and I said exactly what they're doing to cover up my murder. Back then, a year ago, that's exactly what they're doing. So if you look, you'll see it. So anyway, just ask, well, why would he post it? And then it doesn't make any sense. So their cover-up's not going to make any sense. If you fall for it, you'd have to be fucking... But anyway, 14:25, I got to close this video because, end the video. 15 minutes is the limit for iCloud before you have to edit your video, and we don't want that. So, yeah. So, I could assure you, I don't post public figures' names unless I'm confident. I know they're all, like, the involvement. To what level, some I don't know as much as others. So, but anyway, let me go. Take care. It is July 27th. This is the day I was poisoned, by the way. July 27th and 26th, 2007. Bye.